So in this video, they're highlighting how farming led to basically an increase in the population. You had a lot more people that were living to the age that they could have kids. And so the population just grew exponentially or just at a really fast pace.
It's absolutely revolutionary. When we discovered how to farm, we suddenly increased the ability of the land to support us.
It's the difference between there being only a few million humans on the planet and there being billions of humans on the planet.
Okay, so the professor highlights that it's the difference of a few million humans versus a few billion. So basically, like as humans learn like better farming techniques, it's like more people avoid being starved. There were times throughout history where people would literally starve to death.
Most humans alive today subsist on the products of the agricultural revolution, the byproducts of farming.
Humans were extremely good at hunting. One of the problems is about 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, most of the large animals that humans were hunting died out. We were simply very successful. In those locations where you no longer had game, you had a choice between dying, moving, or settling down and trying to survive and thrive on plant life.
Okay, so a lot of people were going to choose trying to basically survive on the plant life. Okay, so in this video, he's going to highlight again, like this is a different professor, and he's highlighting just how population has grown with farming.
World population was around 10 million people when agriculture was invented. 10 million. That's just like one of the big cities today, like Bangkok, London, or Rio de Janeiro. Then, over thousands of years, the world population increased very slowly. By the year 0, 250 million people, like Indonesia today. The slow growth continued to 1 billion by the year.
Okay, so population increased like steadily, and then it kind of just like flattened out, and then you're going to see a huge jump in population. And this is when they get even better at farming. It's like during the Industrial Revolution, they have techniques with farming that are better than ever before.
Year 1800, and then with the Industrial Revolution, the world changed. Fewer died young. The population started to grow faster than ever before. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 billion today. This line gives the impression that world population will just continue to grow, but it won't, because across the world, women have fewer and fewer babies. Look at the projection.
Okay, so again, population just like increased quickly with farming techniques. Okay, he's highlighting that he thinks the world population will stabilize around 11 billion toward the end of the century. And then after that, probably won't be growing quite as much.
Our ancestors were natural historians in their daily lives, and this was probably behind the domestication of plants.
Okay, we're going to go ahead just a little bit in the video. And so what is brought up here is the fact that people started farming in all different parts of the world. And then this, like they weren't communicating with each other. You could have someone over in like basically the area of like what today is China, and or someone that's kind of in like Mesopotamia area. You had people farming and they weren't communicating with one another through internet or through phone. They were just kind of figuring out what worked for them and how to get more food.
Farming arises in many different places, totally unconnected with each other. And that is the beginning of civilization.
We had to come up with better tools, better ways to build our houses, to protect our land, to make our clothing and so forth. We had new materials to use. We had new plants to grow.
Okay, so they're able to get this new material in part through like farming. Think of like cotton, like with clothing, like that's from farming. Okay, so they figure out just different materials they can use, and then as people are farming, it frees up people to have specialized jobs. People can be lawyers, like focusing on the laws within their society, or teachers, or doctors. people can be focusing on building homes or making clothing. You don't need everyone to farm because they figure out efficient ways to make it so people can be fed. Okay, before, when it was nomads, everyone, like all the men, were out there following animals, like hunting. They spent the majority of their time trying to basically be fed. With farming, again, people can be doing different tasks and trying to like do other things for society, and they'll still get fed. Okay, so the overall idea I want you to get from this is that people had better lives because of farming, and it led to societies progressing. Populations have grown with farming.